Right, kids, don't drink and vlog. I have just finished the Cadenhead's warehouse tasting and Springbank tour. At the moment I'm about 9 whiskies in. Actually no, I'm about 8 whiskies in, a gin and a rum. Morning. A little bit more sober this morning. It was a fantastic day yesterday. It was wet. It was very wet. Don't know whether that was clear. Do you know what that little bird is? I think it might be a house martin on the ground. Never seen a house martin on the ground. So we woke up yesterday essentially in a lay-by, but at an amazing spot. Absolutely beautiful. Amazing rolling coastline either side of us. And then we drove to Campbeltown, and I feel a little bit bad. I made an Instagram post about how Campbeltown just seems to be very wet, and then very quickly got told off by a Campbeltown local that it's not always wet and they've just had a lovely week of sunshine. So I shouldn't be so quick to judge, but it was, my experience of it was 100% wet. Went to Campbeltown, had a look around Glen Scotia, and then went to the Springbank Distillery. Actually, that's not true. We sat in the harbour for a while. The harbour was very wet, very beautiful. And then after Glen Scotia, we went and sat in the harbour and had a coffee and relaxed and had some pain au chocolat. Then we went to Springbank. Springbank's cool. Springbank is a very cool distillery. The closest thing they have to a computer is a blackboard with chalk markings. They've got no automation. It's very simple, very straightforward. It's the old-fashioned way of making whiskey. The whole place has a very unpolished feel to it, which compared to the quite polished touristy Isla ones, it's really nice actually, nice to see. We then did the Cadenhead's warehouse tasting, and that was the start of my downfall, essentially. Whiskies, whiskey-aged gin and a rum. They were good, they were special. In the warehouse, getting a chance to try them being drawn out of the casks. Yeah, great experience. If you're up in Campbeltown, definitely do a warehouse tasting. And then you get the opportunity to actually buy bottles drawn from those casks. So you get a chance to taste something that no one else has tasted, and you get to buy something that people who haven't done the tasting tour can't get either. So yeah, special whiskies. Yeah, then we drove here. We tried to find somewhere to stay for the night. We were going to go and stay over near Castle Sween, and I think that's definitely on the list for another time. But the coast was just so wet. It seemed pointless to go somewhere that is pretty and beautiful and not be able to actually enjoy it. So we decided to go to Crinan, which is the foot of a sea loch. It's the Scottish Canal, Scottish Canal, which connects Crinan to Loch Gilphead, essentially. And it's an amazing piece of engineering canal that goes over a hill and then back down the other side. And it's beautiful and it's lovely and it's been very peaceful. We've been here all night and it was lovely to be somewhere that there was no wind. There was quite a lot of rain eventually, but it was all right. And then this morning I've just been watching them bring boats in and out of the loch. It's nice to be able to say loch rather than loch, because it is a loch. It's a loch on a sea loch. Yeah, it's been good. Good morning. Had a bit of breakfast. Got a little bit of B-roll, but not a lot. Yeah, so we're now going to drive back down through Scotland. It's our last morning in Scotland, so we're leaving Scotland today. Going to drive down through Glasgow, past Glasgow, and then go to Lowther Castle, which is a castle. Ruined castle in Lowther with beautiful, beautiful gardens. Emma found it in a magazine recently and said we must go there when we're there. arrived, so we're going to hope that the weather is going to be a little bit less rainy than it is right now, and we're going to go enjoy that. And then we're staying at the Malabar Hotel. So the Malabar, or B&B. Malabar B&B is where we stayed on the way up. It's where we've stayed before when we did the Harris tour, the Outer Hebrides tour, and it's just a beautiful B&B. If you're in the Sedbergh area, if you're driving from the south up to Scotland, Malabar is where it's at. Go and stay there. It really is very, very lovely. And beyond that, staying there tonight and then home tomorrow. Might go to Morecambe Bay to go to the RSPB. We'll see what the weather's like. But yeah, it's not a lot more to do really. Honeymoon over. Back to the real world. Back to just being married at home. Is that when the problems start? But we've got another honeymoon coming up in September, so it's not too bad. Let's go do the day. So, we're on our way home. We stayed the night at the Malabar. Amazing bed and breakfast. Like, bed and breakfast doesn't really do it justice, that's what it is. It's a bed and breakfast, but as the old couple that were there, we overheard them saying it in the shop later on. We took a risk going to the Malabar because it's an expensive bed and breakfast, but it's much nicer than a lot of hotels. And it really is. It's not a risk, it's amazing. And it's also not that expensive. I would so thoroughly recommend the Malabar, particularly if you're doing a drive from south to north. It's a good halfway point. Breakfasts there, and there isn't any one thing to try and pick out its best bit about it, because nothing's bad, everything's good. Just generally superb night, very calm. Went for a nice dinner in Sedbergh, and then we're now on our way home. We have stopped in at RSPB, Royal Society of Prevention of Birds? No, that can't be right. Preservation of Birds. Protection of Birds. Prevention of Birds would be the wrong thing. Stopped in there just because I wanted a chance to use my long lens, and because it's a wonderfully calm, relaxing, I'll try that again, wonderfully calm, relaxing place to spend time. It also reminds me a lot of spending time with grandfather growing up. We used to go to bird hides and just sit. He'd point out birds to me, and I'd pretend I knew what he was talking about. It was wonderful. So, we're sorted. That's our honeymoon over. We're now just heading back to normal married life. We've got a couple of ideas of where we want to go in the campervan. There's some shorter trips coming up. I've got one longer trip in mind around the August bank holiday. Yeah, Banley has treated us well. It's been wonderful. It's been, pretty blissful trip. So thank you very much for following along. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy whatever you're doing. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to keep up to date with the Campervan Adventures, if you want to see more about the photography. Got a couple of lens reviews, maybe up, maybe about to go up. I don't know what order I'm going to do this in. and I'm thinking I'm going to start doing a bit more on whiskey, because Little Tipple, the channel name, came from the fact that I was a whiskey writer, whiskey blogger, whiskey talker, and that's why it's Little Tipple. And I haven't done any of that on this channel really, so I might start doing a few more bits on whiskey. If you want a trip to ignite that spark of whiskey love, I think Isla's a pretty good trip to do. So thank you very much. Bye bye.